Greetings, and welcome to my first YouTube video. I've decided to do my video to make a review of Crisis on Infinite Earths Giant Number 1. It is a comic that ties into the Arrowverse's Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, which is currently 3 out of 5 episodes in. Now they're coming out with 2 of these, so this is the first one. The second one will come out once the last part of the crossover happens. I understand that people are having trouble finding this, so I thought I'd do a review to give at least a general idea of what the story is and adds to the overall crossover, in case you're not able to find a copy. So obviously we see the cover here. It is a remake of one of the original covers from the Crisis on Infinite Earths from 1985. We can see that they have added in characters from the TV crossover, as well as advertisements for what new stories there are. So we're going to start with the first story here. If I can get it open, which is called Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1, featuring Felicity Smoak. So this one opens up with Pariah jumping between worlds as he's being tortured. So the first one he goes to is Earth N522, which is a obvious nod to the New 52. Most people are saying this is for the comic universe, which adds a headache, including the fact that they've already had their own crisis. So I say that, in my opinion, I think this is the DC animated movie universe that they do, starting with the Flashpoint Paradox and Justice League War and Son of Batman and so forth. I think that makes a little bit more sense. But it shows them showing up on this Earth and then witnessing its destruction while trying to help, but can't do anything. As you see here, I'm trying to keep the words out of it so I don't get copyrighted. Next, he ends up going to Earth F, which seems to be the 1940s Superman cartoon universe. Of course, can't do anything there and gets wiped out, but we see that Harbinger is actually after him to try to rescue him for some reason. Next, we go to Earth X, which just shows the Ray and the Freedom Fighters as they combat Nazis in a usual scheme to defeat them once and for all before their Earth is wiped out. However, Harbinger seems to rescue the Ray and take him back to the Wave Rider. So this will obviously take place during or after episode 2 of the crossover. And it's primarily, I think, to show what happens to a couple of the main characters that don't get to be in the crossover, like Wally West and Felicity Smoak. Nissa Al Ghul is also one of them as well. So then we see the Monitor giving the Ray his debriefing and catching everybody up and telling what their objective here is, which their objective is to catch Pariah, who's being teleported by the Anti-Monitor between universes, in order to catch his antimatter equivalent Outcast, as Outcast will know the name of the paragons they need to find. Of course, it also covers Felicity discovering about Oliver's death. Spoilers if you're not actually watching it, but if you're watching this, I'm assuming you are. And of course, she handles it in her very Felicity way. So after this, they do more of the CW drama before they continue their mission looking for Outcast, which takes them to Earth 76, which is the Linda Carter Wonder Woman show from the 1970s. They have a little showdown with him, but ultimately make no progress, and he escapes, and that universe is destroyed. They make it back to the Wave Rider, where we have some more CW drama, this time between Barry and Felicity. And then Felicity takes them to Earth D, which is where Outcast's next target is. Here we actually get our first allusions to the Justice League with the Justice Alliance. As you can see, led by an African-American Superman and Supergirl. We have our first Green Lantern appearance in the Arrowverse, a Wonder Woman, and another version of the Flash, which actually looks to be like Wally West if he was the Flash. Come on, CW, do it. Make Wally West the Flash. He deserves better. And so they battle some shadow demons. Before our big thing is, as you can see here, Outcast goes to blast Barry, but Wally jumps in and takes the blast for him, actually killing him. Antimatter blast that wipes him out. So Barry flips out, tries to kill Outcast, which is oddly out of character for him, before they subdue him and actually capture Outcast. It has ads also. They then take him back to the Monitor's watchtower or satellite, where he reveals that he meant to get caught the whole time, doesn't know who the Paragons are, and he's actually a bomb that's going to blow up the universe, which leads to a to be continued, which will be in the second part that comes out in January. Overall, interesting story. I like that it added more universes because, I like seeing all the shows tied together. But ultimately, outside of that, adds nothing. I mean, all the characters die anyway, except for the Paragons at the end of the last episode. So it just gives Wally a noble moment, which is appreciated considering I think he's probably my favorite character from the Arrowverse, who doesn't get enough love. And just shows us what a few of the other characters are doing. I'll be interested to see how they tie it up and tie it in. But ultimately inconsequential other than adding a few more universes and giving Felicity and Wally a little more screen time. All right, so that's it for part one. I will be making a part two shortly for the second story. If you have any questions, comments, or like the video, let me know. And I'll see you guys around.